A healthy local economy depends on a healthy business environment, and for a business to thrive, it needs a skilled workforce. Hi, I'm Randy Gale, and welcome to City Journal. I'm joined today by Kristen Dietzel, Vice President of Workforce Solutions for Greater Dubuque Development Corporation. We'll be discussing a local collaboration developed to help local employers. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you.
Kristen, tell us about this collaboration. What's it called and why is it needed?
Sure. So the program is called Opportunity Dubuque, and it is a workforce collaborative that's administered by Northeast Iowa Community College with funding support from the state of Iowa, Dubuque Works, Northeast Iowa Community College, and other partners. And it's really designed to provide a non-traditional pathway to career training, primarily targeting low-skilled, underemployed, or unemployed individuals, maybe someone who has not graduated high school, or it could be a high school graduate who did not continue education past that point. And the goal of Opportunity Dubuque is to really get someone an entry-level certificate that can lead into employment or towards continuing education.
Okay. You touched on this a little bit, but maybe a little more specifically, who exactly is the program trying to reach?
Yeah, so right now in our economy, we have an abundance of middle skill or highly skilled job opportunities. What we don't have an abundance of are low skilled opportunities. So that is something that can be filled by someone with a high school diploma as their terminal level of education. So this program tries to reach those low-skilled individuals and bring them back into job training to get skilled up to work in a high-demand field. So something such as welding, CNC machining, CDL truck driving, phlebotomy, CNA would be some examples.
Okay. And is this need for a skilled workforce, is it unique to Dubuque, or is this a nationwide issue?
It's a nationwide issue. We definitely see our challenges here in the Dubuque area because we do have a slightly lower educational attainment rate than the national average in terms of people continuing past high school. So while we have one of the highest high school graduation rates in the country, about a third of our high school graduates do not continue their education beyond high school. So that's really the population we're trying to target, maybe immediately after high school or maybe 5, 10, 15 years down the road to bring them back into an opportunity to have a well-paying career.
Okay. And if some of our viewers are watching and this sounds like something they'd be interested in, or they know someone who might benefit from the program, how do people get involved with Opportunity Dubuque?
Yeah, so what's unique about Opportunity Dubuque is the program employs career coaches or success coaches. And those are individuals that would sit down with you if you're interested in the program and walk you through every step of the process. So they would go through the intake process, any assessments that might need to be completed to place you in the appropriate program, background checks. Some programs might require some physical background checks as well. So they take care of all that, and then they actually work with the individual while they're in training to troubleshoot barriers. And then at the end of the program, they help place them into employment. So someone who's interested could contact Northeast Iowa Community College and ask for Jordan O'Connell or Samaria Neely, who are the two success coaches we work with. They could also call us at Greater Dubuque Development, and we could connect them as well.
Okay, great. You mentioned barriers. So what kind of barriers could these people be facing to this training, to employment?
Sure.
And how does this program address those barriers?
Sure. So the students in the program, depending on their unique situation, we know they're typically underskilled. We know they're typically underemployed. So they often face barriers that anyone in poverty would face. So common ones would be transportation, childcare barriers, ability to pay for tuition. So what's really unique about the program is because of the support of partners such as Dubuque Works, and the state puts in some scholarship funds as well, tuition is paid for anyone. So this is really free training for most qualifying students. And then we have partnerships in place to help students who might need access to food while they're in the program, might need access to transportation to get to Piasta for training. Some of the training is also downtown Dubuque. We can still pay for transportation if that's a barrier. And uniquely in 2019, we added childcare support for parents to be able to participate in the program.
Yeah, that childcare is huge. Can be a real barrier for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, absolutely. When we looked at the data, we recognized that it was about 60 to 70% men who were graduating from the program. And when we talked to the coaches about why there was that gender disparity, they identified childcare as the number one barrier that women tell them prevents them from participating in education. So we worked with some partners in the community, including the City of Dubuque, Dubuque County, the Community Foundation, and NICC, and put together a pilot where we're kind of testing the theory. If we provide childcare, will that help us get more women or more parents into the workforce? So that's in place right now. So if you are a single mom or a parent who feels that childcare is a barrier for you to get into education, we have a partnership with Steeple Square. So while you enroll in the program, you can enroll your children in Steeple Square childcare, and that cost is covered as well. And then once you're employed, we will help supplement your childcare costs for up to a year, subsidizing some of that cost while you get on your feet.
Wow, that's great. Again, you touched on this question a little bit too, but how exactly is the program funded? You mentioned there's a number of people that are investing in it.
So Dubuque Works is our community workforce collaborative, and that is funded by the City of Dubuque, the Dubuque County Board of Supervisors, and the Dubuque Racing Association. So those funds support tuition for Opportunity Dubuque, as well as some of this child care support. The state of Iowa also has a fund in place called GAP Tuition Assistance that is eligible to be used for these students as well for tuition, because this is not a traditional degree program. So students are not eligible for traditional financial aid. So that's how we cover the tuition. Dubuque Works also helps fund one of the success coaches. We really believe that having that personal coach makes the difference in someone's success or failure in the program. So that's something the Dubuque Works Collaborative funds along with the community college. And then we have some additional partnerships with the child care support from the Community Foundation. We also received a Future Ready Iowa grant from the state of Iowa for putting in place an innovative workforce solution. So a lot of partners engaged. I think our community really recognizes the barrier that childcare puts in front of people to be able to work.
Yeah. And again, you mentioned partners. So if you had to identify who are the main partners are that are making this this work, who are those key partners to this?
Yeah, so Northeast Iowa Community College is the training entity. So certainly this program wouldn't exist without their vision and their commitment to providing this kind of non-traditional pathway to students. Beyond that, Dubuque Works, which Greater Dubuque Development heads up, is a collaborative of 17 partners. Kind of everybody that's doing workforce work in the community, we try to have one common mission and vision. So we support the program. And then the Community Foundation has stepped in as a partner on the child care pilot. And also Steeple Square, which is one of the newest child care centers in Dubuque. So they were really excited to be able to partner with the program to enroll those children.
Yeah. And in a program like this, I know that measurement is key. So how do you measure the effectiveness of these efforts of Opportunity Dubuque?
Yeah, so overall, Opportunity Dubuque has graduated 640 individuals since 2012. So it started with manufacturing, welding, CNC machinists, and has since expanded into transportation, healthcare, childcare, customer service. There's some IT programs as well. So the programs can change depending on the demand in the market. And of those 640 graduates, we've been able to stay in touch with about 90% of them up to a year after they graduate. And their employment rates have been about 95%. So it's truly a life-changing program for the individuals that go into it. We have over 30 employer partners that are ready to hire individuals once they complete. And I think that really accounts for those high employment rates. someone might be hired while they're still in the program, or else there is a interview day that happens upon graduation where these employers can meet with these newly trained individuals and hire them.
Okay. Well, as you said, this sounds like a program that's really impacting people's lives, and it's also helping businesses address a need as well for trained employees.
Yeah, it's really a win-win program. You know, it's helping that low-skilled or underemployed individual gain the skills they need to go into the workforce. We also see many of those individuals continue their education after this point, sometimes with the support of their employer. So it's a great opportunity to re-engage someone who maybe hasn't been engaged in traditional higher education. And then for the employer, absolutely. We identify each year what our top skills needed in the community are. And Opportunity Butte is a great vehicle to match those entry-level skills and help our employers be able to hire the qualified workers they need.
And another great example of how partnerships are improving our community. Is there anything else about the program we haven't covered that you'd like to mention?
No, you know, I would say, as you mentioned, the partnerships are really the magic of the program. We have buy-in from everyone in our community for this program, and I would say our biggest challenge is to continue to get the word out. We know there are more people in our community who qualify for this program and would benefit from this program than know about it. So, you know, I'm really excited to have this opportunity to share this, and hopefully anyone listening today, or if you know someone who could benefit from this program, I encourage you to contact NICC and learn more.
That's a great reminder. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us about Opportunity Dubuque today. And thank you for watching City Channel Dubuque.